Party time, Mom. We're floating into the nether regions. That's right. We're in the mothership. We are in the vehicle which calls Studio 22. Do you feel it, party foul, Steve? The G-force is pulling you back.
Yeah, you need to slow this thing down.
Melting your face as we head into craziness with a brand new Off the Rails episode. We're going to talk about some of the wildest headlines from around the world. And, of course, I have to say thank you to Candice, the Queen of the Ethiopians, for always compiling just the weirdest stuff in the world. So kudos. I would love to see your search history sometime, Candice. It is just got to be, no, it's not allowed, or just, I'm scared. You know, Jason Buttrell, chief researcher for Blaze and Glenn Beck, he's like, it's a miracle that, you know, the FBI or the feds don't come looking for him because of the stuff he has to search out deep into the internet. Some pretty crazy stuff that's out there. Do you run across a lot of that?
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm going to plead the fifth with it, but we have good headlines, so it's worth it.
There is some pretty wild stuff. And the Puppet Master, Mark, he just sits over there quiet. I like his plead the fifth mentality, right?
Yeah, see, I don't have to search any weird stuff for my job. I just push buttons, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm just over here pushing buttons.
Yeah.
I'm innocent. And look at
So
Candace.
innocent.
Candace looks all innocent.
Yeah,
Look at that dead
way.
deer over her shoulder. Herbert the silent deer. He's sitting there making the face that he made whenever the truck hit him. You see that? I mean, Candace is not innocent. I'm telling you, she's scary, Steve. Scary.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Do you know what, Steve? People are crazy.
Every day I know they're crazy.
They're crazy. People do the weirdest stuff, man.
Who's doing something weird now?
Everybody on the planet.
Okay.
Well, first of all, what are you wearing around your neck? You got what is that? What is that?
That's my Trump.
That's Trump.
That's my Trump neckerchief.
You know what's funny?
That's a fashion statement.
You know what's funny is, like 2.5, 3 years ago, before you started working with me, like you really didn't even care about politics at all.
No, not really. I still don't really care about politics. Now I like the effects of politics.
Yeah.
But or at least the ones I feel and the ones that I feel good. And lately I've been feeling pretty good about politics.
And I mean, like sometimes I tell myself don't get so deep into politics, but I'm a junkie, you know. I just like it. I just kind of get off on the whole thing, and it's a lot of fun.
The last few years opened up my eyes to a lot of crazy stuff that I always kind of thought maybe something was wrong, but you didn't really know.
Yeah.
And then more and more, boom.
Speaking of things that you don't really know, I want to get into some off the rails headlines. San Francisco. That's a crazy place. Now, let me just tell you. The cheapest real estate listing in San Francisco right now, if you go to Zillow, it's a parking spot that's worth $100,000. That's crazy. The median price for homes in San Francisco, $1.3 million. You couldn't pay me to live there, Candace. Ain't no way.
You could get you a little compact RV and park in that parking spot, and you got a house.
No, I ain't doing it. Don't want to be in that town. It's a block from Oracle Park, a mere $100,000, according to San Francisco Gate. Listen, it's parking spot number 140 if you're interested. It's in a luxury condominium complex, 88 Townsend. You can get a one-bedroom there, listed $849,000. Just round it on up to an even cool million. They'll probably give you a balcony that you can actually use. Move that microphone up close to your face there. It scares me being down that low.
What is the rent run? Yeah, like just rent. If you want to rent an apartment somewhere like that.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's got to be outrageous.
Well, I know they got people living in boats.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay rent.
That's Seattle.
They do it there too, though.
Well, they do.
I watched a special
Seattle's really known for that. Really, Seattle. So when you're filling out a form and they ask you what color your skin is, you put
other.
Why do you do that?
Because I want to save my white privilege for when I really need it. I'm banking white privilege.
You're like putting it back in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I need my privilege. Do you ever think that you could honestly use your white privilege for anything? Like, have you ever thought about what could I use my white privilege for?
I don't know, but I'm saving it up for something big.
Just in case something comes along. Like, I could rack my brain right now, and I don't know what I could, quote, use my white privilege for. I don't know.
But, you know,
I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who'll tell me.
I have long hippie hair, and that actually gives me some privileges that if I was a short, white-haired guy, I wouldn't get.
Turn around so the camera can see how long your hair's gotten right there. Now, it's gotten pretty long. I want to know from the general viewing public, If you're listening, go to YouTube and check it out. I want to know, is it too long? Does he need to cut it a little bit? Look at Steve. You're very vain.
A little bit.
Yeah, very vain.
More so the older I get, you start going,
you mentioned Steve's hair. Like, I told them the other night, Candace, we did a show in Flora, Illinois, and I was down there talking to some people after the show, and I said, watch this. I can make Steve take his hat off and run his fingers through his hair. Because they mentioned that you had a mullet. And I said, hey, Steve, that's not a mullet, is it? And immediately you took that hat off. It's like a Pavlov's dog, man. I ring that bell, and here you come. B.F. Skinner's behaviorism.
But back to long hair, there's certain places I can go with long, shaggy hair that you can't necessarily go. You can go there. But
I have never wanted to go to a gay bar or a male strip club.
It's not that. It's other parts of town.
Yeah?
They don't mess with a long hippie hair guy.
Well, okay. I guess probably because they just think you're an old dude that's been to that place and seen
They just leave you alone.
He also gets free extra TSA pat-downs that you don't get.
Surprisingly enough, TSA leaves me alone completely.
Well, you have TSA
I have
pre-check.
TSA pre-check. I have clear. They have my retina scans, a concealed carry permit. FBI clearance,
and by the way,
top
folks
secret.
don't know this. I've talked about it some, but I need to do a truck video on this at some point in time. My passport is coming up for renewal. I've got to get a new one. It's expiring because 10 years old, and it says I'm a female. It says I'm a female. No one in 10 years of all my travel, international travel, no one has ever stopped me at any form of customs or coming into a country, anything like that. They've never stopped me and asked a question.
Do you think, like, sometimes people at those jobs that sit there and look at IDs all day and scan their stuff, they're just going through the motions?
I know they're not seeing if you're a man or a woman.
They don't care.
They're not looking to see that. Which, by the way, and the reason I ask you what skin color you do, and the reason I'm talking about my passport is because Nepal, which, by the way, Steve, that's where the Himalayas, that's where Mount Everest is.
Just south of China, just north of India.
It's pretty much its own country. They're going to add a third gender in recognition of LGBT minority. Now, Kathmandu, Nepal, you wouldn't be that I wouldn't think that would be like a place that really wants to be on the battlefront of LGBT people. But they're claiming that that's a minority group. And they're allocating them a place where they can identify as that for government jobs and education. So they in their census, they're now giving you an opportunity that you can be other. You can be whatever you want to be. You can identify. Donde Raja Lama-chan?
Now, are they Hindu or are they Buddha?
Probably there's
got to be a little of both because they're stuck between those two. And
they're Buddhists.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very devout Buddhists, by the way.
Buddhists, can they eat their cows?
Steve,
it's a legitimate question.
There's some pretty strong Buddhist temples, and you're not welcome there. You want to talk about places you can't go? As a white man or as a you can't go into their Buddhist temples.
I can go find the Dalai Lama, though.
You can't even go on the grounds. So, though the change is specific to gender rather than any person's sexual identity, activists welcome it as increasing the visibility of the LGBT community. They estimate that 900,000 of Nepal's 29 million are LGBT. But that doesn't change the fact that you're a man or a woman. See, like, that's what I don't understand.
They got 29 million people packed in that little country.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You don't even know what size the country is.
It's like this big on the map.
On the map.
Yeah.
Well,
if China's this big,
you're looking at
Nepal
a flat map,
here,
Steve.
And India's here.
Do you realize what it's like? Do you realize Greenland, when you look at it on a flat map, it ain't the same as when you're looking at it on a round globe.
But I'm comparing it to the size of other countries around it.
Well, okay. But that still doesn't. Anyway, I don't want to get into that.
All right.
But I just don't understand why, like, if you're gay or, I mean, if you're trans, okay, but LGB, that's lesbian, gay, or bisexual. You still have to be a man or a woman to identify as one of those. You can't identify as something else and be a lesbian. That demands that by definition, it demands that you be a woman, right? Am I missing something here? I don't know if I'm not reading the news properly or what the deal is, but I mean, like, if it's girl on girl, that's what it is. It's girl on girl.
I just think the whole movement's trying to smear so you don't look at anything. And eventually, it'll pollute it down to where there is no.
It definitely blurs the lines, and it gets it to a point where it's just there is no definition.
Because there comes a point where, like, well, who cares? I don't care if you're gay or straight or whatever.
Well,
you do,
I don't think anybody does care.
Yeah.
Like very few people. I mean, whatever. Whatever. I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. You can't legislate morality or any form of thing like that, or you can't legislate somebody's sexuality. So, whatever. Anyway. You can't use the word pet anymore, by the way, Steve. PETA says you can't use, if you're talking to your dog or your cat, you can't refer to them as a pet.
Well, you always think PETA as being the people against, like, abusing animals and stuff, but they don't believe you should have any pets. They should not be owned, caged,
it's not ethical,
or anything. Yeah.
Shouldn't do that. So, yeah, you're...
My dog wants to be at our house, especially at nighttime when it's cold. He's begging to get in the back door. So he's a pet by default.
Yeah. But you can't own your dog. You can't own your dog.
Right?
You're not the owner.
Do you treat your dogs like they're people?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
They're dogs. No, I don't.
They get to come inside out of the cold.
Every night, if it's cold enough.
Yeah.
But the fact that you just said they get to come inside, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. But
like, I let the kids come inside. Like, they come home and open the door and walk in. My dogs don't do that.
Well, see, I
don't have to let my kids come
Rhodey
inside.
Can
they
open
just
the back door himself and let himself in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have responsibility for my dog, so I can't say that because that makes you the owner. So, yeah, but anyway, PETA is getting mocked, right? They're getting mocked for even coming up with saying that, so you get on Twitter and blah, 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 blah. I can't stand it when people say, well, language is always evolving. Oh, my sweet Lord. That's part of the problem. See, you smear all the lines down, and you got nothing.
Nothing.
Now, I'm going to use language right now. I'm going to use language, boys, and I want you to listen to me closely. You're going to understand every non-evolving word that I'm about to give you because it's important. Your life depends on it. Just because she says she doesn't want anything for Valentine's Day doesn't mean she's really telling the truth or even doesn't deserve anything. But don't worry. The Bouquet Company has you covered. That's B-O-U-Q-S as in bouquet of flowers. They offer farm fresh, sustainably sourced flowers for next or same-day delivery. If you order today, right now, get 25% off your entire purchase. Go to bouqs.com/Chad. That's BOUQS.com/Chad for 25% off with the code Chad. And remember, Valentine's Day is not just for lovers. You can show your best gal some love. Let mom know how much you love her. And make that first move with the one you've been crushing on. So come on, fellas. You think it's cold outside now? Just wait till you forget Valentine's Day. The Bouquet Company is here to make your life easier, and they offer more than just roses. You can get those sweet treats. Don't you love those chocolates when they show up? Beautifully styled bouquets, plants, gifts, succulents on their site. This Valentine's Day, spread the Bouquet love with your first love, your forever love, your loved ones, or the one you want to love. Go to BOUQS.com/Chad today for 25% off and use the code Chad. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Here's what happened in India. You want to talk about India? Oh. Apparently, inadvertently, moonshine spilled into the water supply, and they disposed of it in the water supply. So guess what? When they turned the faucets on in one apartment building, liquor came out.
Hey, that's some people's dream, alcoholic's dream right there.
It would be convenient, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be convenient. Why don't they have liquor dispensers in the house? I mean, some people get like a kegerator where you can change out your beer and stuff, and they got a little pour tab. And I know there are some of those little upside-down bottles you can put in there and just, why don't we have a little...
Just hard pipe it into the house from
liquor, right from the distillery.
The distillery.
Oh, that's right. Apartment dwellers in Chalakudi in the southern state of Kerala knew something was awry after turning on their faucets to discover their water had been spiked with booze. Can you imagine getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, poured yourself a glass of water to take a pill, and you take a big old gulp of that, and it's somebody's clear?
It's used by 18 families, but it's only one apartment.
One apartment building, Steve.
Oh, okay.
They ain't rednecks like your family in Chalakudi, okay, in southern Kerala.
I might have misread that.
Yeah. They said, well, the water smells bad. So, yeah, that's the whole deal. The whole experience was traumatic for us. Or as they say, the whole experience was very traumatic for us. All right. It was just 2,000 bottles, but they decided to dispose of it, digging a pit. Tekisanu. Okay.
You do that pretty well.
Don't they? Would you say that you are an alcoholic? Hell yeah!
Hey, can you mock PETA in that voice?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean you do not want the dogs to be called a pet? Okay, fine. We call it a menu item. New study claims sand dunes communicate when they move. You know what? What the hell does that even mean? Each time a sand dune is hit by wind or water, a tiny disturbance is created, which in turn gives its neighboring dune a little push. So they're communicating. And sometimes it says, only the pure of heart may enter here.
Well, communicate.
What movie is that from?
Game of Thrones. No, I don't know.
God, you're gay.
It's something to do with dragons and wizards
Aladdin.
and stuff. Oh.
I misquoted it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Aladdin?
Who dares disturb my slumber?
Yeah.
That's when the sand dune opens up to the Cave of Wonders. Well, Alibaba had those 40 thieves.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't watch enough TV.
They communicate. One moves, and so in essence what it's saying is when one dirt pile moves, it moves the other one beside it.
That's like saying water
so they're
in
communicating.
a system communicate. They're not talking
like,
verbal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're moving over there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's this whole Joaquin Phoenix Oscar acceptance speech theory that we're all just kind of one natural thing. The symbiosis of, oh, my God, and we're stealing cows and their milk. But we're not, and I can prove it right here in this article. Amsterdam, the Dutch, they're killing people, man. They're killing people. Take that, PETA. They're euthanizing people. Now, that was the first country to euthanize legally.
Oh, you mean like saying, hey, I want to die?
I want to die. It takes a physician. They give you a lethal deal, a lethal injection, whatever, and bam. It's like eating my wife's food. They've now risen 22%. The request in 2019. Yeah.
Are you totally against the idea of if you want to end your
life?
Yeah,
I am.
Even for medical or
I am.
old age? I mean, if you just decided,
yeah,
hey.
because we've talked about this. It's a slippery slope. I mean, there's no philosophical or logical way in my brain. Just knowing how people are evil, I just don't see if you give somebody that kind of power, how it doesn't eventually come to a place where it's abused, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be abused, but I'm not totally against that.
Yeah, because at what point in time do you not wind up with a Goebbels SS form of putting people in an oven and that's it?
Yeah,
because they're not useful to society anymore.
There is an instance of a young person, like 16 years old, that went through that whole process and euthanized themselves or had themselves euthanized.
And I get what you're saying, and I want to agree with that on the functional level of being able to say, yeah, if you get to a point where you just don't want to live anymore, or let's say you have a terminal cancer and you just don't want to go through the pain of all of that, I could see that. I could see that. But I can also see you swallowing, 60, 70 sleeping pills too and just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, but that's kind of gruesome too. But if you could do it in a way that you be easier on your family. When somebody commits suicide, they leave the people that find them and everything around them.
None of it's good, dude.
So it's crazy.
None of it's good. Oh, well. Hey, I want to tell you about my friends at Brick House Nutrition and why I love their superfood. Let me tell you, that's a huge transition. You want to live, people. You want to live. I love their Field of Greens. And, Steve, I got to get you on this stuff. It's good stuff because we don't eat so good on the road.
No, we don't because
sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Last trip, I looked at our meals.
Let's don't talk about that publicly. We can't tell people that stuff. Field of Greens, folks, you got to get it. It's what helps me. A few years ago, the doctors and human performance experts at Brick House wanted to create a product you could take every day. It's all natural and is going to make you healthier. The result was Field of Greens. So one scoop of Field of Greens, it has a full serving of real USDA-certified organic fruits and vegetables. It boosts your immunity. using antioxidants, prebiotics, and probiotics. And this is a real superfood, folks. This is not made from extracts. Real superfoods reduce your risk of heart disease, memory loss, and are a great source of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and other nutrients. It's like a toothbrush inside your arteries and veins. I'm telling you, it's great stuff. You don't need to count pills. You don't need to mix and match anything. Just put 1 scoop in a glass of water, stir, and you're done. Go to BrickHouseChad.com right now. Get 15% off your first order with the offer code CHAD. Take the guesswork out of eating healthy. Start your day like I do with Field of Greens. BrickHouseChad.com, BrickHouseChad.com, offer code CHAD. Okay, so what did we eat on the last trip?
Okay, we had first day we ate soup at the airport. The day we left, and we got on the road. We had,
by the way, the Admirals Club.
They have great soup.
I've never had bad soup, and I'm a soup nut.
Yeah, so
I love soup.
We ate soup there, and we where did we? Oh, I went to St. Louis because you went to San Antonio.
You went in a day early.
So I did eat good that night because I went to the hotel.
Let's talk about when you met. I came and picked you up. I came and got you at the hotel at noon. We went
straight to McDonald's.
Yes, we did.
And we ate McDonald's. Then that night after the show, because we didn't eat again, that night after the show, we were headed to McDonald's, and they turned the light out. They closed as we pulled up. The lights
so much
went
for
out.
your white privilege.
Yep.
So much for your long-haired white other privilege.
So we went to the hotel and got the burritos and stuff out of the freezer. Frozen ones you got to heat up in your room.
Chimichangas.
Chimichangas. So that's what we have for supper. Then the next morning, we're pulling out of the hotel.
I also had Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, but I left the meatballs. It looked like 2 testicles in a little tin cup, and that was all done. It was nasty, man. Did you ever get the burrito completely hot all the way through?
Yes, I did, but I kept thinking there was a frozen chunk in the middle. I kept pushing it. It was the one piece of meat on both of them.
Ugh!
That one piece of steak. It was steak and cheese.
Peter would be so pissed at you.
Yeah, I eat meat, so I eat my pets.
Oh, God. Don't name the cows, people. Don't let your kids name the cows. Listen, I got that sucker so hot. What I would do is I would just put those chimichangas in the microwave, go to the bathroom, take a dump, come back, flip them over, let them do it again. And I crawled right in the bed and ate those suckers while watching Fox News.
I laid in the bed. I was eating mine too. I put a towel over my chest.
Me too. I did the same thing. You know what I can't do? I can't eat naked, Steve.
Yeah.
I can't eat naked. I just, like I always tell people, I'm like, I don't know how people like incorporate sex and food.
Yeah.
And like, no, I can't eat naked.
Not my thing.
Y'all shouldn't eat naked. And you've heard me say that. I've said it on stage. I got a whole bit about eating naked. That's weird. Like, I'll put on, like, I can't even just eat my underwear. I got to put on, like, shorts or pants. I got to put on something. I need extra layers. That chimichanga was so hot, it was like Chernobyl, dude. It was freaking hot, bro. It was hot, man.
Speaking of Chernobyl.
But, you know, you talk about euthanasia. We're killing ourselves eating this crap, man.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I love McDonald's, though. I am like President Trump. I love McDonald's. I love it. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love McDonald's.
You almost get the same thing every time you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you threw me for a loop the other morning because after we left the hotel that next morning to go get, and I say morning, it was already serving lunch at McDonald's, and you ordered something totally different.
Steve has trouble when you give him a list of things. I like a large #1 with extra mac sauce and a Diet Coke.
I say it differently than you.
Well, you leave things out.
Nope.
I need every ingredient of that order taking place. A large. No, so Steve will say, let me have a #1 and
with a Diet Coke, make
Diet
it large.
Coke. And oh yeah, let me make it large. Oh, and by the way, could you put extra mac sauce on that?
For my fat ass friend.
And normally they have to say, will there be anything else? And like Steve won't start ordering his food until they speak to him. Like he'll say, okay, can I have that? He'll give my order, and then there's silence, and Steve waits. And they're like, okay, will that be all? And oh, no, I also want
because
a quarter pounder with cheese and bacon and onions and tomatoes and lettuce. So don't call me fat.
If I order right away, they're still searching for the button for extra mac sauce.
Oh, you're in their head. You're in their head.
I'm in their head. I've been to enough McDonald's.
Well, let me tell you what I did. The other day, I did not ask for extra mac sauce because it's just to a point where riding in the car, it's too messy. But, God, you got to love that Thousand Island mix. And I asked for 10 nuggets, just 10 nuggets. That's what I wanted.
You only ate 8 of them.
And because I gave you 2.
That's right.
Because I gave you 2. And I like my sweet and sour sauce. Let me tell you, I don't like a quarter pounder's okay. Quarter pounder with cheese,
do you
fine,
know why
but I don't do that.
You know why I get the quarter pounder?
Why?
Because it's real meat. The other ones are
I don't care what
half
it is.
and half soy.
Like the chicken
bean.
ain't real chicken. It's chicken goo. It's like chicken glue. They squeezed it out of a tube.
It's all white meat at McDonald's.
It just
They
came out
switched
like
that.
a pink paste, and then they fried it. And I don't care. I just don't care. Because you can dip a turd in that sweet and sour sauce, and it's delicious.
You know how much sugar is in that chicken nugget?
I don't care.
There's more sugar in that than there is a donut.
How do you know?
Because I read it.
You've had 7 donuts today.
Nope.
Yes.
I had one jelly-filled donut.
You had a jelly-filled donut. You've had a bunch of donut holes. You ate a cupcake, and you had a kolache.
Half a cupcake. That's
Call
not
me
a
fat.
kolache. That was a sausage roll.
Sausage roll.
Kolaches don't
Was there
have
bread
meat
on it?
Kolaches don't have meat on them.
But it was the same thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Kolaches have fruit.
Did it have bread on it?
Yes.
Okay. It had bread on it. That's all I care. You call it whatever you want to.
Right.
You're not Czechoslovakian. Before we started taping, you thought Nepal was India.
I know. No.
Yeah, dumb bastard.
I just said that's a general location because people say, where's Nepal? They don't know where Nepal is.
Yes, they
But
do.
if you say India, that goes in their head, okay, it's in Asia.
Do you know where India is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys
You know the
fight
Indian
like
Ocean? I've been to Indian
You
Ocean.
guys fight like an old married couple.
I know.
It's
Well,
endearing.
I want people to see this. I want people to get this. Everybody's like, I just want to travel with you and Steve. And I'm like, this is what you get.
It's almost not what you get. We can ride 5 hours in a vehicle and never
we
speak.
can do that. But we like to go at each other just because it's fun.
Yeah.
We bicker because it's fun. And like we bust each other's balls all the time. And then I'm like, you want some of my nuggets? Steve's like, hey, honey, don't throw away those nuggets. Don't you throw those nuggets away.
And then he's like, you're driving too hard. You're stopping too fast.
Oh, my
you're
God,
this
it's
and that.
true.
And then so I slow down and I start driving like super conservative driving. And he says, I didn't say you had to drive 30.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. So Steve drives a company car, okay? Then let me interpret what that means.
Chad's.
It's my car. He drives it. It stays at his house. He drives it. It's a Mercedes-Benz, which ain't a bad little gig to have, Steve.
I know.
He drives it, and don't go crazy. It's like a 2014, folks. So it's a cheap car. It was expense-wise. It was not an expensive car. And I'm like, you can't gun the thing because you drive like a drag racer, like you're on a dirt track in East Texas. Ooh!
Probably so.
And I'm like, when the Mercedes decides to brake, it all breaks.
Yeah, it does. And Mercedes are expensive.
I know.
Especially
is that
diesels.
The same Mercedes that has the dent in the parking lot on the
No.
passenger side door?
No. There's only that vehicle has been in one accident, and I was not in that accident.
No, somebody did run into the back of me and Jade. They ran into the back. There better not be a dent in the side of that freaking car.
There's not. Candace, be quiet.
Someone did run into the back of us.
I'm just reporting what I saw in the parking lot. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't get Jade started about it. Jade's one who gets, she starts talking about automobiles. Like Jade starts fussing at me about my own automobiles. I'm like, woman, shut up. I say that to myself. I don't say it out loud. It's just in my heart, Steve.
Yeah, I know. You can't say everything out loud.
I know. Speaking of burritos, Chernobyl, man. Apparently, they found, y'all know Chernobyl back, what was that, 86, when they had the meltdown out there?
I always say Chernobyl.
What was it you said?
They put an L on there.
Oh, you know what he said the other day, Candace? We go in, you know how you're at the airport and they have these, they have all the blah, 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 like the electronics store, like the iStores or whatever. And we're always looking at the headphones because we're all about our headphones. We're audiophiles. We really are. Like we need that stuff. And we listen to our music because we're on the plane all the time. And he goes, well, here's some Munsters. These Munsters right here, I hear they're really good. And I'm like, what did you just say? He's talking about the Monster.
Because I pronounce R, monster.
Well, then explain esculator.
That's just the way I say it.
Chernobyl, man, they got some fungi.
Chernobyl is funner to say.
Fungus. They got fungi that eats radiation living inside the nuclear reactor.
That sounds like a great thing to me.
Well, it sounds like it. But if it can eat radiation, think about what else it can eat.
No, what does it produce after it eats the radiation? Does it dissipate the radiation? Does it come out a cleaner? Maybe they should be...
It's attracted to it. It's not only impervious, it's attracted. So they tested some of the fungi and determined they had a large amount of the pigment melanin, which is also found among other places, like in the skin of humans. Back to your privilege. There you go.
So they just
People with dark skin tones tend to have much more melanin, which is known to absorb light and dissipate ultraviolet radiation in skin. However, in fungi, reportedly absorb radiation and convert it into some type of chemical energy for growth. We're all going to die soon. Between the coronavirus and Chernobyl and stuff that's getting released in the air, and PETA won't let us eat. PETA won't let us eat!
Until they're burning piles of body in the street. Don't worry about it.
New Jersey declares itself the pizza capital of the world. Come on. We were just in New Jersey.
Yeah, if you go to like Jersey City, it's full of, just like New York City, it's full of pizza places. It's got all the same pizza places that New York City has.
Well, they think they're better than New York. They think they're better than Italy. Best pizza I ever had, Chicago. Hands down, no question about it. I think so.
Really?
I love pizza, dude.
I like eating it in New York.
Yeah.
I like going in. I like walking down the street and walk in, buy a slice.
But just buying a slice, yes, it's good because the water is so good. The New York water makes the crust so good. But yeah, I don't know.
They have places down here. They ship the water from New York down here.
You know what was good in New Brunswick, New Jersey when we were there? Those hot dogs.
Oh yes,
you remember that restaurant?
It was like every kind of hot dog you could order.
Oh my God, they just put everything on there. What's the name of that place? Oh, I love it.
I don't know, something dogs.
Fantastic. They had like 60 different variations of hot dogs.
Somebody look that up and tell us what that was.
Yeah.
Brunswick, New Jersey, hot dog place.
Speaking of hot dogs, if you got a flat-faced dog, it may be increasing canine fertility clinics. What does that even mean, Candace? My gosh, flat-faced dogs. So that would be like, what, a bulldog or a Shar-Pei or... which is back to the coronavirus. Everything ties together.
Well, some of those dogs can't even give birth. Some of those dogs, they have to do a C-section every time they
so the UK's official kennel club indicated a significant increase in dogs born using artificial insemination, with more canine AI births in the last 3 years, 2017. Okay, I'm over that one. Yeah. Hey, serial killers, they're Tauruses. They're Tauruses. Don't be coming to my show if you're a Taurus now.
Yeah, we're Chevy people over here.
Chris. So, of course, Tauruses are people born between April 20th and May 20th. Weird spring babies, man. Yeah. So there's more if you go. And I mean, like, do we know, really? Do we know? These are just some popular ones.
These are the ones that you know about. There's other serial killers out there. They say there's like 10 or 15 active ones in the U.S. at any given time.
What's your sign?
Virgo.
You're a Virgo. So that means Ed Gein, Albert DeSalvo, and Henry Lee Lucas. Those were Virgos. I'm a Sagittarius, so Dennis Nilsson, Rose West, and Ted Bundy.
I just watched a special on Henry Lee Lucas. He's one of those, that came through Texas and Florida and took credit for all those. And
is that a documentary?
It's a documentary.
You got to check that out.
Yeah, you need to check it out because it's crazy. Yeah. You go over the whole city of the people involved in the DPS and the Texas Rangers, and watch the whole thing. It's crazy.
It's scary.
They closed case after case after case, and then come to find out he didn't do them.
I read an article the other day about a guy who kept his dead mother in the freezer and would take her out every now and then to have sex with her. That's a cold motherfucker.
He just took her out he just took her out to sign the Social Security checks.
Bill Gates got him a new boat, $644 million hydrogen-powered super yacht with a gym, helipad, infinity pool. Good for you, Bill.
Hydrogen power. You know what? Instead of exhaust, you know what the byproduct of hydrogen power?
What,
stuff?
Steve?
Water.
That's great. I'm glad. Look at you paying attention. Fantastic.
Just no.
That's cool, shit. Man. You know what? I could have a yacht like that. I could. Penguins have a vocabulary similar to humans. People have studied that. That's amazing. I think those were some Italian researchers. That's fantastic.
Probably so. Watch those kids. I'll be back in 6 months. And they leave that daddy penguin holding an egg.
They walk around with the egg and stuff.
Crazy.
Oh, there's a touching new Starbucks ad that shows trans teen change name. Oh.
What? Pat?
That is
Pat's new name is Pat.
It's a moving 89-second video that has over 343,000 views, which I call that Tuesday. It tells the story of an English trans teen who's repeatedly dead-named or referred to by their birth name that they no longer identify with.
What is dead name?
I just told you.
I don't know.
That's when you refer to somebody by their birth name, but they don't identify with it anymore. That's the phrase. They're dead named.
Well, I got my buddy I grew up with when we were kids. He was Andy, and now he's Andrew, and I'm supposed to call him Andrew. It's kind of tough. He's still Andy.
And he went by Andy?
Yeah.
Well, at least he ain't going by Sandy.
Yeah, that's true.
The whole other deal.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, some people call me Steve. Some people call me Steven, so I just, as an adult, I've just stuck with Steve.
So the protagonist in this commercial looks downcast as a delivery person, a receptionist, a phone caller. Their own father referred to them as Gemma Miller. But Starbucks, the barista asks, "And what's your name?" To which Miller responds, "It's James," prompting a smile. Starbucks wrote the name on the cup, calling it out as a symbol of our warm welcome. Welcome to manhood, James. Welcome. It's a small gesture, but it's symbolic of what we believe in recognition and acceptance of who we are, who you want to be. We welcome everyone.
Did you ever give fake names at the counter at Starbucks or anywhere else?
Yeah.
Not hotel rooms. I mean, like John Smith.
Yeah. Anyway.
Just so you can hear him call out some funny name.
Well, good for you, Starbucks. You are woke. You are so woke. And good for you. If you want to be called James, if you want to be called Ethel, if you want to be called Bubba, whatever you want to be called, the Starbucks will call you that. You can tell them.
They'll call you whatever you want.
I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them my name is Ed Gein, and I checked a box in Nepal, and I just identify as whatever I want to, just whatever I want to. Steve, it's okay. Look, if you want to identify as something, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I support you. You identify as whatever you want to do. Just don't make me pay for it. And don't penalize me if I don't understand it. Okay? That's the big thing. Like,
no, I throw you in jail.
If I make a little mistake and I'm like, well, hey, like, okay, we were on the bus the other day. We were at the rental car deal. We were headed back. And there was the bus driver was sitting there driving the bus and stopped in the budget parking lot, and there was a guy who walked up to the window who needed some help. Bus driver was a woman, obviously a woman, a black lady, and the guy, as he started to walk away, he goes, "Oh, okay, thanks, bro." Yeah. And she was like, "What? Whoa!"
I honestly think that guy was drunk going to get in the rental car.
He was probably hammered. Yeah.
And then
"Hey, thanks, bro." And she's like, "Okay."
When we all got off the bus, we said, "Thanks, bro," and we all laughed.
I mean,
she laughed, we laughed.
We all laughed about it, but
yeah.
I'd hate for that guy to go to jail because he misgendered that woman or something like that. I mean, stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you get recognized as a woman every now and then.
Every now and then. I quit
Doesn't
wearing
mean you're
pink.
Gay. It's the fact that you sleep with other men.
Yeah, I can't tell my other jokes. It's on here.
Here's what I want everybody to do. Go to watchchad.com. All the fun stuff is there. Things you can buy, things you can do, things you can see. Watchchad.com will tell you that Saturday night we're going to be in Corpus Christi, Texas with our friends, the Deplorable Choir. They're going to be opening the show for us with a lot of fun, patriotic, Trump-supporting songs. So come down there. We're going to have fun.
You can't miss that. That is hilarious.
American Bank Center. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a party. It's going to be a party.
Like it.
And then Tomball, Texas on Sunday night the 16th. So just get your books, get your keeps, get all your good stuff. What was our other one? What was it? Oh, Brick House. I can't forget Brick House. Those are my those are my greens, boy. Otherwise, I would never get any vegetables because the lettuce on the Big Mac don't count. It don't count. I want everybody to go get your Y'all Elitist or Dumb. You can go to podcast merch when you go to watchchad.com. Candice, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. We have an incredible special coming up. We're going to talk about drugs in America. And you're like, oh, well, we've heard about that. Oh, no. You haven't heard anything yet. Oh, let me tell you something. Your mind is going to be blown when you hear this next two-part special that's coming up here. Just another week or two? It's coming up.
February 25th, February 26th.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for your service. That's the name of the series.
You gave me a little sneak peek into that, and I gave you my answer, which doesn't follow your story at all, really, but it was funny.
Oh, but it's pretty telling. Yeah. And so people are going to watch that, and it's called Thank You for Your Service, and it's all about America's war on drugs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into it. Candace, thank you. Mark, thank you. Party foul. Love you, buddy. I love it when we just banter. I love it when we go back and forth.
It's fun.
You know what? I appreciate y'all out there in the world of YouTube, out there in the podcast land. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a great rating. We deserve it. We love y'all. God bless. See you next time. Bye.